It really is a great honor to present my next guest, our first guest tonight. I suppose the word hero sounds corny at times, but I don't think you have heroes anymore. And maybe some of the youngsters need heroes nowadays, and they probably get tired of that word. They would consider themselves, I suppose, professional test pilots, in which they are at a tremendous skill. But it's just been over a month since their great courage and skill under tremendously adverse conditions made them heroes to the entire world. Would you please welcome the Apollo 13 team, James Lovell, Fred Haise, and Jack Swigert. Gentlemen.
Dave Scott, commander of Apollo 15, he kept saying, you know, I know it's a movie, he said, but, you know, nobody's gonna go to the moon for another 100, 150 years. That's my prediction. I don't think anybody's gonna go to the moon for a long time. And by the time they do, everybody involved is gonna be dead. And all you're gonna have is some of this archival footage. And you've seen how incomplete that is. But you know what they're gonna be able to do? They're gonna be able to look at this movie, Apollo 13, and say, that's how they went to the moon. And every time he'd say that, I'd say, Dave, don't put that on my shoulders.
There's something about the story of getting back home, which is one of the 7 great stories of literature. How do you get back home? And that's what this is.
He said, we sent your proposal, that one chapter, out to our office in California. They passed it around to various movie production companies. There was a bidding on it, and Imagine Entertainment has the bid to do a movie on your book. I said, we haven't written it yet.
Michael Bostic, who worked here, actually by complete coincidence, his parents were in this, his dad was in the space program. He grew up in Houston, knew everything about that whole culture. He got us so excited about something that Ron and I didn't know much about.
Everybody in our offices at Imagine Films, well, they've had all the biggest stars in Hollywood walk in there. They were more excited about Jim Lovell.
Ron read it, and Bostic, of course, read it, Michael Bostic. I kind of skimmed it, and I heard things from everybody. I don't read a lot. I'm very intuitive.
And I thought that maybe Kevin Costner would look a little bit like me when I was his age.
I had actually said to people, other writers, I said, look into Apollo. Years ago, I said we should do something on the flight of Apollo 13.
I'd heard that Tom Hanks liked it. I'd talked to him once on the phone.
I finally got a call from my representative, and he says, you won't believe what I just read. And it was Apollo 13. I said, well, send it to me right away. And I read it, and I think within 4 days, I was talking to Ron about doing it.
About halfway through the meeting, I said, well, I really hope you do this, Tom. I'm definitely doing it. And he said, oh. And about 10 minutes later, he said, oh, what the hell, I'm doing it too. So that was it. We shook hands and went down and hailed cabs and went and started to make a movie.
I couldn't have been more happy with Tom, because Tom, in reality, is a closet astronaut.
I have always wanted to be in a pressure suit somehow. I've always wanted to play an astronaut. I've always wanted to, to shoot a vast section of a movie completely encapsulated by nothing but metal, glass, and switches, and I finally have a chance to do that too. So this is a real dream come true.
Overboards and be the captain of the ship, and that's what happened. That's what we did.
I think that all of us felt like we were really, honored to be part of making this movie.
I think there's a great human spirit of innocence and exploration and discovery in this movie, and America at that time.
How many times in this world has, in humankind, has the world stood still in order to see something go on? This is one of them.
It is. It's the most satisfying film I've ever worked on in my life.
In addition to being a very entertaining film, it'll go into the records as being a source of accurate data in the future.
The movie was not only about the Apollo 13 mission, but it was also about the Apollo era.
It was an amazing era. It was an interesting era. It's something that I'm really thankful that I was part of.
Your mission served your country. It served to remind us all of our proud heritage of a nation, to remind us that in this age of technicians and scientific marvels, that the individual still counts, that in a crisis, the character of a man or of men will make the difference. Adversity brings out the character of a man. Confronted suddenly and unexpectedly with grave peril in the far reaches of space, he demonstrated a calm courage and quiet heroism that stand as an example to men everywhere. His safe return is a triumph of the human spirit, of those special qualities of man himself we rely on when machines fail, and that we rely on also for those things that machines cannot do.